M. Calori, request Standing Committee on Municipal and Legislative Operations review the framework currently used by the City Council to evaluate the city manager to approve a new, more substantial document for such purpose. This is very similar to 3A, but we are going to take them separately. Does anybody in the audience want to comment on this?
Yes, hello. David Webb on item 3B. There have been a pattern of inconsistencies in statements from the city manager. When I was assaulted about 20 feet in that direction, he claimed there was a police warrant issued. He claimed that there was not a practice of having police officers there, and he claimed that violence is not tolerated in City Hall. Police warrant was turned into a summons. Police understand that there's a practice of being here. Everyone who attends City Council attends, and he said that they left to file a police report. According to a public records request, there's no report of that. So that was one instance. He also said to Councilor Wynn that he would look into their discrimination, that he would investigate it. The director of DEI corroborated that. Mass Live was told by the city manager that he would look into it, and then last week he was told, they were told that that's not an option. So then Eric Batista also told Grace Ross of the Worcester Anti-Foreclosure Team after reports of some serious allegations after a constable that he approved, and finally admitting that he is in fact responsible for constables, even though he claimed his signature meant nothing, and acknowledging that he does have the power to review constables if there's problematic issues. Got back to Grace Ross the next week saying, sorry, talked with the chief of police, and I guess we are not proceeding with that. There have been many other things that he has told the people that have absolutely no follow-up. And frankly, addressing the toxic workplace of City Council, which he told Mass Live he was going to do, is just the most recent and one of the more egregious examples. But I guess what I'm trying to say is, hopefully, the City Council has the ability to make determinations based on whether or not the city manager has been telling them and the public the truth. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any of my colleagues have anything to add? Councilor Kathleen M. Toomey, request Standing Committee on Municipal and Legislative Operations contact the National League of Cities, Mass Municipal Association, and the International City/County Management Association for best practices and potential consulting regarding creating a different process for the city manager. So we do not have the benefit of having Councilor Toomey here. Does any of my colleagues have any comments or thoughts on the item before I ask somebody from administration to comment on that? Actually, Mr. Powell, my apologies. Does anybody in the audience want to speak on item 3A?
Mr. Chairman, at this time, no one's raising their hand on the Zoom app.
Please state your full name and city residence, please.
Sure. And this is exclusively on 3A, not 3B or C?
We're going to do them one at a time, 3A.
Okay. Can you refresh my memory on which one 3A is?
Order of the Councilor Kathleen M. Toomey, request Standing Committee on Municipal and Legislative Operations contact the National League of Cities, Mass Municipal Association, and International City/County Management Association for best practices and potential consulting regarding creating a different process for city manager performance evaluations.
Yes, so I guess despite in many different things disagreeing with Councilor Toomey, I am in strong support of this due to the situation that Worcester finds itself in. This morning, the Telegram posted an article about last night's meeting with a headline that read, Human Rights Commission frustrated by silence by city manager. Tomorrow, the Post Commission is meeting with the community, and among other things, we'll be discussing the way our city manager has attempted to distance himself from responsibility over constables, which includes an item this committee has, for some reason, not taken up yet. There's a rally that's going to be outside this chamber later tonight. I wrote right now, but it's not right now, because of rampant transphobia in our city administration, with 2 councilors couldn't even be bothered to apologize about. And I don't think any of the digital equity improvements that were passed by the council have been improved. So I would love it if we had an update on the process to evaluate his competency, proficiency, and whether or not he's doing things that we actually want.
Okay, thank you. Please state your name and city residence.
Just to confirm, this is 3B?
3C.
3C, my bad, sorry. Okay, yep. So I understand that, as Councilor King remarked at the final meeting where we voted to keep him, continuity is important. But our city is currently unsafe, unclean, and unfair. So I'm not exactly sure what we're supposed to be getting for $300,000 a year, but I think to start, we're entitled to the truth and a little bit of accountability. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair.
Name and city residence, please.
Hi, David Webb, City of Worcester. I know we're no longer talking about the city manager, but I think one of the primary purposes of the review is to reconsider the way our charter review is to reconsider the current structure of our government. Our city manager wants us to be the best managed city in the nation, but instead we might be the only nation in the city to have received a Department of Justice assessment, including a pattern of practice regarding sexual assault by police officers. And I say the only one, not because they haven't done any before us, although we were the first, but because the DOJ is no longer doing investigations, so we might be the first and the last. So I don't think we've been well managed, and I think our city has a lot of different infrastructure level issues that can be addressed by not having a city manager who thinks that the ultimate goal is being the best managed city. If you want to be best managed city is just kind of ridiculous in a few ways, but we need a good infrastructure. So I'm for this because we need change, and this seems like the biggest way to get the most change. I'm concerned about what our current administration would change, but I think that, for example, we could, instead of having a city manager, make our city councilors full-time. And if we had competent, honest, reliable, empathetic, compassionate city councilors, our city would be incredible. And then we wouldn't have to deal with this game of accountability hot potato that is created by the city manager, the city solicitor, the city clerk, and then the city councilor kind of twiddling its thumbs. Thank you.
Thank you. Assistant, I'm sorry, next speaker.
Yes, David Webb, City of Worcester. I would just like to echo the sentiments of the last speaker. The city website is very pretty but functionally atrocious and very difficult to navigate. For a great example, if you search it for calendar, it gives you a lot of suggestions, none of which are the city calendar. Whereas if you Google Worcester calendar, it knows exactly what you're talking about. So having a city website that was designed to work for the city, not make the employees' jobs easier, would be great. Same thing with the city while we're at it.
Thank you.